It will not be able to service beyond that particular radius. Because a consumer mindset does not walk more than say 1.5 kilometers to a grocery store. Or he himself cannot deliver beyond that. So if he expects to grow beyond that and if there are only 4,000 households, that's the market he'll get.
It's not a scalable business basically.
It's only scalable to that efficiency. So what he does is, to that level of efficiency, he controls his costs and makes money. And if he wants to grow, he has to set up another shop in another area. Or change his model. So if you expect this shop to grow beyond this point, what normal growth will be what we call inflation growth. The cost of products keep going up, that's the only growth he gets. And the risk there, inflation growth mechanism is very serious. Because your costs also is inflationary. Your rents go up 5% every year, your employees want more, and sometimes the FMCG margins come down in a grocery environment. And then you find crisis. And that's why you're finding small mom pops are slowly moving away and becoming superstores and supermarkets. Right? So that's the model. The fourth, of course, is the competitive challenge that we're talking about. You have to also understand that competition will react.
Last question, do you think really the one who having a grocery shop had made a mall, or the one who started mall is a different person? He never had a grocery shop. I mean,
I'll give you an example of this.
Is it that really goes like that?
I'll give you an example of this. We have a company called Just Books. We incubated. He had one library in Whitefield. So he was an iFlex person running a library, and he had some vision of what a library should be, because he was never getting what he wanted. And he used to love books. And he set up a library the way he wanted to be a library, and was pumping success. Within 8 months, he got 3,000 members. But he knows how to run one library. Running a chain of libraries is altogether another business. It's nothing to do with library. Believe me, running a chain has got nothing to do with the domain, because the domain you already learned and you've got that. It's about being able to control on remote 20 outlets, starting 8 in the morning, closing 8 at night, no bill for age, employees coming in and behaving the same way you would behave in your store. It's a different business altogether. So just because you're running one library successfully, there's no reason to believe that you'll run a chain of 20 libraries successfully. Unless and until you develop those skills, either yourself or you hire them. It's two different businesses, though it's this library. You must understand that. And that's the moral of the story as far as the growth is concerned. You started up an idea, growing it up to multiple markets is a different business, different skills. The ability to do that may not be with you. And therefore, you must recognize that and hire appropriate people. And if he's an appropriate person for the business, you have to pay his price. And that price, at the end of the day, should be a simple cost-benefit analysis. If his cost is going to be more than what the company can afford, you can't afford them. And it's a simple business decision. So you have to learn to move on from being owner-manager to owner. Or continue to be a manager and give ownership to somebody else because that needs capital and you can't afford. So both these options are going to be available to you. And Cisco is a classic example of acquiring companies and keeping the teams on to continue the business. Similarly, you'll have other kind of options. So you have to keep looking at these kind of options to find out what exactly works and what does not work. And again, I want to stress on this competitive challenge. In a startup, you fight competition by strategic alliances. I'll give you a case of somebody who's come for incubation. He's got a security device which will avoid total phishing in all kinds of internet transactions. Today, the most popular security device is the OTP, one-time protocol, which helps banks use. He's got a good idea. But he's never going to make it on his own. They're going to keep incubating him. Because banks are few. They will not trust a newcomer. There's no way in hell Citibank going to say, you're a newcomer, I like your product, I'm going to risk with you. It's not going to happen. For them, what is not broken, don't fix it. Even though you're promised utopia. So he has to look at a strategic alliance. He has to go find out who are these gatekeepers who are servicing this market, if that is his biggest market. And he has to go convince that gatekeeper, I have a product which is better than your current one, and you're better off with me then. You need to figure out strategic alliances. Otherwise, you'll not be able to break the markets. So competition is about not trying to win the world on your own, but forming associations and strategic alliances which will help you meet your plan. And again, it comes back to sharing. You will not get alliances if you're not willing to share. If you're so possessive about your ownership, you want to own 100% of your own self, you will be a loner. So you have to share to get information, you have to share to get a mentor, you have to share to access funds, you have to share to get employees, you have to share to beat competitive advantage. It's all about ability to keep trying to make the pie big enough so that even though your dwindled share is going to be valuable for you.
How you want to share based on what your partner, what kind of value a partner brings in, right? If we go and sit on the other side of the table, saying I'm going to be that partner, then how do I evaluate what I bring in? Why I'm asking this question is, I'm currently working for a startup, and this is being started by a person who was in a very, very senior management position in one of the big organizations, and I've been offered close to 50% stake in that. So I need to see what is it that I really bring in to this, or probably he's seen something in it, or I don't know how to evaluate this, or is there a catch attached to it?
I think a very good point. If you are the person who's being sought after, you have to figure out what is it that you're going to benefit out of it, and before that, what is it that you're going to contribute to make sure that the enterprise is successful. That's a very important question. Look at it deeply and try and find out at least clarity in your mind that this is what I'm going to bring in value and therefore this is the value I'm going to take in back return, and articulate that. Don't jump into bed the first time you meet him 10 times, but make sure that you'll find that he will not be able to do this company without you. And therefore, he's better off offering 50% and owning 50% than not offering him to top.
Last 1 year I've been an employee of this company, and then after the year I've been offered this. And usually we basically float a joint venture. And usually in a joint venture, when you evaluate your percentage based on the number of experience, years of experience, expertise, or I'm a guy who passed out last year. So I don't have much to say. So I don't know how to evaluate.
So you have to figure out why is he offering this. So nothing is free in this world. There's going to be a catch. You want to figure out why. Do you have that special skill which will make that business successful? Is that what he wants to do? Or does he want to give you 50% and after 3 months give you another 50% and go away? Find it out. Before you sign the 50% partnership, try to find out the liabilities.